Hello, dear friends and enemies. Welcome back. Metia's Miscellaneous Melange. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most important subjects of this current cultural moment, Yuri Manga. So, Yuri is a term here that refers to a genre of stories focused on interactions between female characters. Generally romantic, often sexual, sometimes platonic, but interactions between female characters. And in fandom spaces, most recently, especially anime, manga, and adjacent fandom spaces, the word Yuri has been used more often in recent times than ever before. An interview with Yuri novelist, author of Other Side Picnic, Yuri Miyazawa, from 2018 was translated into English in 2019 and then recently began to pick up traction. Specifically, several lines from this interview kind of detached from it and started to float around on Tumblr and Twitter by themselves as memes. The phrase Yuri of Absence is a big one, but also the phrase this too is Yuri. Anything can be Yuri. An empty field can be Yuri, because once upon a time, two girls might have stood there. A post where somebody disagrees with the OP is Yuri because in their conflict is Yuri, I don't know. But stuff like that, people will just say anything is Yuri nowadays, and I think that's great, because the more people talk about Yuri, the more people are interested in Yuri. And the more people are interested in Yuri, the more Yuri manga I get to read. The general interest in Yuri is increasing in the Western world over time, and I think that's very exciting. But before we can talk more about what Yuri is, let's talk a little bit about what Yuri isn't. In the interview with Yuri Miyazawa, he clears up some popular misconceptions about Yuri that a lot of people share. One of the things he says is that Yuri is not necessarily about just cute girls doing cute things. That a lot of media is about, attractive people because that's just what visual media is like, but it doesn't have to be focused on girls who are cute or conventionally attractive. He also says that a lot of people misconstrue the kind of romantic two-girl friendship as a transient phase of puberty that every girl experiences and then gets over with to date men. Instead, he says, saying this will get you killed. Which, yeah, I agree. Another common misconception about Yuri that Miyazawa addresses is that the same-sex relationship, the nature of the relationship, and that it is between people of the same gender, has to be the source of the conflict, which Miyazawa again refutes. And that is definitely a view that is popping up more and more in recent Yuri, that, it's fine to like girls, fine to be a girl who likes girls, and a lot of stories, instead of focusing on the girls discovering their sexuality, it's focused on girls who already know they like girls and are now onto phase 2 of looking for a girlfriend. So, Yuri manga is not all the same. And that's the beauty of the fact that we have so much Yuri manga nowadays, is that there's so many different kinds of stories being told, so many different kinds of manga being made about two women who are in love. I think that is extremely exciting, and it honestly makes me a little sad that we didn't really have that same kind of boom in Western comics. If you look at American lesbian comics, it's a lot of memoir, a lot of confessional, and very little even like fiction up until more recently. But Yuri was not always like this. Here is a bingo card from a Tumblr post that was posted back in 2014, so 9 years ago. And this is a bingo card that summarizes a lot of extremely common tropes in the genre at the time. So, common tropes that are mentioned on this bingo card include the phrase, but we're both girls. And this is not an exaggeration. A lot of manga, up to 2014, made a very big deal of the fact that the two girls are both girls. I remember reading it more than once. But nowadays, that phrase pops up much, much more rarely. The girls know that they are both girls. Everyone knows that they are both girls. The girls just want to date girls. The other thing that I want to address right now is a school setting, because today, not every Yuri is set in a school. Today we have Office Yuri, Monster Hunter Office Yuri, College Yuri, College Harem Yuri, College Monster Hunter Yuri, Reincarnated into a Fantasy World Yuri, and Drifter Adult Yuri, as well as still plenty of Schoolgirl Yuri, just in case you still want to read about that. The other tropes that are mentioned on this bingo, some of them are still, pretty common, but a lot of them you really don't see that much anymore. And I think that's great, because every genre needs to evolve to survive, and Yuri continues to evolve and improve and just get better and better. And today I'm going to recommend to you 5 Yuri series that I like from 5 different genres. Well, not genres, but 5 different settings, premises, tones, so that hopefully one of them will strike your fancy. And if it doesn't, perhaps I will make another video recommending 5 more different titles. Maybe one of those will appeal to you. So, to start with, we're going to talk about one of my favorite schoolgirl setting Yuri manga, Mizuno and Chayama. Mizuno and Chayama is a manga by Yuda Nishio, previously known for his limited series After Hours, which is also a Yuri about 20-something DJs in Tokyo. Mizuno and Chayama is about 2 high school girls in a small town whose family are on opposite sides of a political conflict. Mizuno's dad is running for mayor, Chayama's dad runs the factory in town, and their families don't get along. But Mizuno and Chayama start hooking up in an empty classroom at school, and the 2 of them try to figure out a way to leave town and escape the pressures that their families are putting on them. What makes Mizuno and Chayama really stand out is the art, the visual storytelling, and the almost cinematic quality of it. It does a lot with very little words and with a lot of beautiful pictures, and I think that's extremely impressive. And also the story, while they are both high school girls, and it is a coming-of-age story, it's not a coming-of-age story that is focused on the fact that they are both girls and that they are in love, but more on the fact that because they are both girls, the expectations that their families place on them are affected by their gender. And their relationship does develop in a different way than it would have if they had been a boy and a girl. It's a single volume, so you can read it in one sitting if you really wanted to. And it's not a happy, fluffy story by any means, but it is ultimately uplifting, and I really enjoyed it, and I really recommend it. But what if you're really tired of high school girls? Then why not try How Do We Relationship by Tammyful? How Do We Relationship is an ongoing manga that is currently 9 volumes long. It's getting longer. And it's about these 2 girls who meet on the first day of college, become friends, and they find out they both like girls. So one of them suggests that they just try dating. And then they try dating. And then their relationship has problems. And then they break up and start dating other people. And what's really exciting to me about How Do We Relationship is that it's not really about one perfect relationship. It's about all of these different kinds of relationships, and all of the problems and conflicts that they have are conflicts that feel realistic to me, or like conflicts that I've experienced or seen my friends experience. And the way they interact with their families, their school lives, and they're trying to figure out what to do for the future, it really does remind me of my college experience, even though I went to a very different kind of college than these girls did. And the characters are really complex and flawed, but they're really trying to do better, and you can see how they learn from their first experiences dating each other and how they bring that into their next relationship, and how they try to stay friends while also juggling all these other things. And it really does make you want to root for them and hope for a happy ending. It's also extremely funny. Even though it is also at sometimes extremely heartbreaking, it's also very funny. And I think that's a good thing to have in a comic. What if you're tired of schoolchildren in all forms, and you are really into action stories, shonen manga, fighting monsters? Consider SHWD, the Special Hazardous Waste Disposal. SHWD is about plucky new recruit Koga, who joins the titular department and is mentored by the only other woman in the department, Sawada. SHWD is the department that disposes of the creepy monsters that are running around in Tokyo. And it should be noted that Koga is very buff, very large, and very beautiful, and also a masculine woman, which is extremely rare to see in Yuri Manga. But she's also very explicitly a woman, and Sawada is also explicitly a woman, and they will talk about how much they like women, and eventually they will fall in love, and it'll be very cute. I haven't gotten that far. I just started it. But if you like a dose of action in your romance, this would be a great title for you. And if you're looking for another kind of magic in your romance, how do you feel about Reincarnated in Another World stories? I'm in Love with the Villainess is one of those stories, where the main character, Ohashi Rei, dies and is reincarnated into her favorite dating sim, where she uses her knowledge of the game and her position as a student in magic school to try her best to seduce the villainess of the game, Claire Francois, and totally ignore all of the male capture targets that she was supposed to seduce in this dating sim. Super cute, super fun. The fantasy magic world building is pretty interesting. If that's your thing, there you go. But what if you are tired of students and of fantasy? You should try Catch These Hands by Murata, which I think is extremely underrated because I don't know anybody who likes the series except for me and my two friends. But Catch These Hands is about these two young women who were delinquents in high school, rival delinquents in fact, heads of rival gangs. But now one of them is kind of a nameless drifter, and the other one is a little bit more together, but not really that together. And now they run into each other again, and one rival delinquent challenges the other that if she beats her in a fight, they'll go out on a date. What? And it's a really cute, down-to-earth, grounded slice of life story about these two former delinquents going on dates, learning how to fold origami, and hanging out, and trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives, what dating even means, what building a relationship together really means. It's really cute. The art style is simple, toned down, in a way that really fits the down-to-earth tone of this manga. And I think it's really good. This one's 4 volumes long, and it's complete, so if you want to buy the whole thing from Yen Press, you can do that right now. So, those are 5 manga titles that I've recommended from 5 different kinds of genres. I haven't really touched on the office lady Yuri subgenre that has been proliferating at rapid speeds, but I could do that next video. Actually, I will do that next video. Wouldn't that be fun? I shouldn't make any promises. But if you enjoyed this video, please check out these titles. Check out one of these titles that seemed interesting to you. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments. And I will see you next time for, hopefully, more Yuri recommendations. Or maybe something else, if something else happens to catch my attention. We are living in a Yuri renaissance. Because 10 years ago, if I had made a poster that said, "Fight the Yuri shortage," I would not have sold any copies of it. But now, a poster like that, I can show it at a convention, and people will buy it from me, because the people agree. We need to fight the Yuri shortage. We need more Yuri. We need more media about women who love women. And we can all work together to accomplish this by reading and supporting and paying for such media that exists. All these titles that I mentioned today are available both in print and digitally from official publishers, and I really hope that you will support them financially as well. This has been Matia's Miscellaneous Melange. Thank you for watching, my dearest friends and enemies, and I will see you next time.